Hey there, so did you know that dogs, like other animals, enjoy working for their food? That this is hardwired into their DNA. It's actually called contrafreeloading. So today we're going to talk about how we can use this to help our chihuahuas become calmer, to create mental stimulation, and to boost their confidence. So contra-free loading is just a fancy way of saying let your dogs work for their food by searching, by sniffing, by licking, by chewing, problem solving. And all of these things are very satisfying for a dog. They are inbuilt behaviors. It's part of their dog DNA. It's what their ancestors would have had to do in order to survive in the wild. Solving little food puzzles can be really good for them. If just think about that little dopamine hit that they're going to get when they solve a puzzle and then they get that little food reward. If your chihuahua is shy or they're anxious, it's a really nice boost for their confidence when they've actually managed to work something out. So what are the practical ways that we can use contra-free loading for mental stimulation and for calmness? And how can we introduce this into our dog's daily routine? So there's some really easy games that you can play that will just mimic this need to scavenge and hunt and search and problem solve. One of the easiest ways to do is to use one of these. So this is a Kong, okay? And on the video now is a picture of Minnie Kong mining, okay? So what we would do with this, we would actually stuff this with her dinner. Okay, don't just think that these are for treats or for putting peanut butter in. We would put her whole meal in this and give it to her, and she would go and work it out. Now, Minnie is an absolute superstar when it comes to Kong mining. Your dog might take a little bit more time to get used to it. Mika, who is a little bit older and not quite as enthusiastic with food as Minnie is, would have a go at it and then bring it in, drop it at my feet and go, shake it down for me, human. And I'd have to shake it down, and then he'd trot off and he'd have another go at it. But even though he's not as enthusiastic as Minnie, he's still thinking about it. He's still thinking, okay, I need to get that bit at the end. How can I do that? And I'm going to go and take it in, and I'm going to get my human to tap that down for me. So it's problem solving. It's all good for their mental health. Other ways that we can do is scatter feeding. Scatter feeding is absolutely brilliant, and we use this a lot, not just at meal times, but we might use it if we've got people coming into the house and I don't want the dogs getting overexcited or getting silly or engaging with people coming in through the front door. All that involves is getting some of their daily food allowance and throwing it on the grass. Now, obviously, it's very difficult to measure who is getting what food then, but if it's done intermittently, no one's going to suffer. And quite often, if your dog's putting on weight, it's just is kind of a long-term thing. Just keep an eye on it. So scatter feeding in the garden is a super way of keeping your dog engaged with their food, and kind of mimicking this hunt and scavenge idea that they have. Sometimes we will just throw a handful of garden peas out into the garden because they do like to hunt for a pea, and then they'll spend ages and ages out there just rummaging in the grass, rummaging in the flower beds, looking and just getting that little dopamine hit whenever they find something. Another good thing is using lick mats. Okay, this is Prince's lick mat, and his is a good one because it's got little suckers on the back, so you can stick it to things in the kitchen, and they get quite a lot of their food on a lick mat. Now, why this is good is because yes, it slows down their eating, so they're not all just kind of pouncing on their food and it's gone. There will be little tiny bits left in the gaps, and the dogs will spend ages licking the food out. Prince will pick his mat up and he'll mince off to his bed with it or into his crate with it, and he'll spend ages and ages just working at it to get those little bits of food out. That licking creates calm. That licking helps them bring their arousal level down, and it keeps them engaged. While they're doing that, they're not listening for every little bit of trigger noises that might actually start off a barking frenzy. So for some dogs, puzzle feeders are quite good. Putting them into little games that they can play where they have to knock things around to get the food to come out. Mine aren't particularly very good at puzzle feeding. They tend to just break the toys to get the food out. Minnie will just have a game up on bricks, strip down and up on bricks within seconds, and get the food out that way. So they don't really engage in puzzle games the way I kind of think that they're supposed to. So they don't really work for us. But for some dogs who are a little bit more thoughtful, puzzle feeding again is a really, really nice way to engage the brain. But you need to find the puzzle that is going to work for your dog. If you don't have a garden and you can't throw food out onto the grass, then think about a snuffle mat. Okay, snuffle mats are brilliant. I'll put one up on the screen for you, that side, and you will see they're kind of made of fleece, and you can sprinkle some of their daily food allowance in it, and then they just get to hunt for it amongst all the little bits of fleece that are sticking up. So again, if you can't scatter feed outdoors, you can use that. Or if it's raining, you could put maybe a snuffle mat in the kitchen. Again, really, really useful if you've got people coming in the front door, or you've got things going on that you really don't want your Chihuahua engaging with, and you can give them something more positive to do. Other great ways of getting them to hunt and scavenge for their food are using treasure hunts. So piling up some boxes, some of your recycling, baiting it with some of their food and letting them have a good hunt for it. Mine love a treasure hunt, or a cardboard chaos game, whatever it is you call it. So those are fantastic. Just save all your boxes and recycling up, pile them up, bait it with their food, and just let them have a good rummage for it. So these are some basic ideas of how you can introduce contra-free loading into your dog's daily routine so that they are stimulated, so they are calm, and they are learning to hunt and scavenge for their food. There's loads of other ways, loads of other games that you can play that will get your dog mentally challenged. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to put on a massive performance for your dog every meal, but just think about how you can replace the meals when you're at home with something that's more exciting and more interesting for them. And you may find that if your Chihuahua is a picky eater, that this helps with that, making food more interesting, making more of an event around their food, not a stressful event, not one where everybody's watching the dog eat and going, oh, he's not going to eat, and putting loads of stress on the dog, but creating a fun environment around food, or an interesting environment around food, will help a picky eater become more engaged with their dinner. So there we go. There's a very, very quick guide to contra-free loading, what it means, and how we can mimic this for our domestic dogs. Different dogs are going to enjoy different processes. So give one of these ideas a try and let me know how you get on. And if you've got any other brilliant ideas for engaging your dog with their food, then please let me know in the comments below. I would love to see your videos and hear your ideas. So that's all from me today, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye.